Greetings. I'm going to talk briefly about evolution. And I'm going to read the definition of mutagens. So, chemical mutagens changes the sequence of bases in a DNA gene in a number of ways. So you have three of them here. It mimics the correct nucleotides based in a DNA molecule, but fails to base pair correctly during DNA replication. Removes part of the nucleotide, such as the amino group on adenine, again causing improper base pairing during DNA replication. Adds hydrocarbon groups to various nucleotides, also causing incorrect base pairing during DNA replication. This was chemical mutagens. You have radiation. High energy radiation from a radioactive material or from X-rays is absorbed by the atoms and water molecules surrounding the DNA. This energy is transferred to electrons, which then fly from the atom. Left behind is a free radical, which is highly dangerous and highly reactive molecule that attacks the DNA molecules and alters it in many ways. Radiation can also cause double-strand breaks of the DNA molecule, which the cell's repair mechanism cannot put right. Sunlight. It can contain ultraviolet radiation, the component that causes a suntan, which when absorbed by the DNA causes a cross-link to form between certain adjacent bases. In most common cases, the cell can repair this damage, but unrepaired dimmers of this sort cause the replication system to skip over the mistake, leaving a gap, which is supposed to be filled in later. Unprotected exposure to UV radiation by the human skin can cause serious damage and may lead to skin cancer and extensive skin tumors. Now last one is there's four. Last one is spontaneous mutation, which occurs without exposure to any obvious mutagens. Sometimes DNA nucleotides shift without warning to a different chemical form, known as isomer, which in turn will form a different series of hydrogen bonds with its partner. This leads to mistakes at the time of the DNA replication. So, when I'm reading this, mutation is bad. And that is one of the main tenets of evolution. Now, if we evolved from another species, then why has not it been demonstrated why haven't we seen a monkey change into a human? Or any other species changing into a human? Why haven't we seen that naturally occurring? The only way we see that is by genetic engineering. And that is pretty much man-made. So evolution is not a natural process. Evolution is just genetic tampering. That's all it is. And being that it's a theory, And being that we hear of clones and stuff they do with food and all that, GMOs, it without thinking clearly, without logical thinking, without investigating and researching, the normal person will say, well, okay, this is evolution. But, it's purely not. Now, I don't know. Well, there's this thing called the Fibonacci sequence. So, how it starts is 1, 2, 3, 5. Now, the next number would be 8. Okay. Let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. So each next number is the addition of the last two numbers. Now you find the Fibonacci sequence everywhere in nature. If you just go in your computer and research the Fibonacci sequence, like facial, the more that the sequence is in the face, the more it tends to be pleasing to look at. In ancient times, we used the Fibonacci sequence to make temples. It also occurs in nature. If you really think hard about your life, everybody else's life, you can't really find any valid proof of evolution. It's just a theory like everything else. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening.